Frank. What's the weirdest thing you've ever saw in here?
Let me ask you a question, kid. Did you see that movie, Night of the Living Dead?
Hey, we gonna party tonight or what?
Yeah, we are gonna party.
Well, where are we gonna party?
I don't know, somewhere.
Hey, we could go to the park.
Oh, no, we can't. The cops said they'd shoot us if we go back to the park. Yeah, and I ain't in no mood to go tonight.
I like death.
And welcome to minute 65 of Do You Want to Party, the Movies by Minute podcast of the 1985 groundbreaking horror classic, Return of the Living Dead. I'm your host, Troy, and I'm being joined this particular week by the Spengler to my Venkman.
Daniel, hey, I'm back.
Welcome back, Daniel. You were just briefly here 2 weeks ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you for joining me yet again for this minute of the podcast.
My pleasure, for sure.
All right, so to begin with, this minute is going to start with admitting to relief and ends with a rain-soaked pile of dirt. A rain-soaked dirt pile shifts. Let's actually read what it actually says in the script and don't improvise, Troy. It goes so much smoother when you do that. So the orange and black cord still securing the creature to the metal surface of the embalming room examination table. The Dutch angle centering on the gray-green, barely there flesh pulled over or peeling off its skeletal remains. The wide open mouth slightly opens more as it reaches forward and upward, as it announces the true results of the consumption of human brains.
Makes the pain go away.
A shocked look falls across Ernie's face, who is still leaning over his subject matter. To the opposite side, Bert's trusty lead pipe frames the shot. Having learned his lesson from earlier, Spider stands further back, his hand resting on the end of his mallet. Ernie's hand slightly shaking as he straightens himself up. Still processing the information he has just been given. With a look of hitting his limit, Spider goes to get the attention of the two men.
Hey, look, man. Fuck this. I gotta talk to you.
As the tied-down monster moans on. Spider expresses his need to talk. He catches Birch's attention right away. However, as Spider pulls at his arm, Ernie protests being distracted from the subject by swatting away at the hand, actively pulling him away.
Now.
The half-corpse continues its moaning in casual head movement. Convincing Bert to circle around the table, Spider's eventual insistence pulling Ernie away from his subject. Spider directing the others to follow his lead.
Come on, man. I gotta talk. We gotta talk.
Once gathered near the exit door of the embalming room, the tied monster becomes more animated and boisterous. Deciding to remove themselves from the audience, Spider insists and leads the two others outside.
No, let's talk out in the hall.
Pulling into a close quarters huddle in the hallways, Spider questions how to deal with the outside situation.
Man, look, how do we kill those things?
After a pause, Ernie relays information he's already known.
You don't.
Spider curses his response.
The fuck you mean you don't?
Knowing Bert can give more information, Ernie sets up Bert, who relays more wisdom upon the younger man.
Bert, you can't kill those mothers. They're already dead. You gotta understand they're not living creatures. They're animated. I mean, you can chop them up into pieces will still come after you.
Halfway through, Spider realizes the fruitlessness of the situation. He hisses another curse as Bert finishes up the explanation of the current events.
All you can do is just burn them. Gotta totally reduce them to ashes so there's nothing left to come after you.
When Ernie hears Bert's final solution, he loudly questions it.
How are you gonna burn all those things?
Spider adds the amount needing disposal.
Man, it's 100 of those fuckers.
Looking off, reflecting on the predicament Bert adds to the end of the inquiry.
Yeah, that is the question.
Meanwhile, out in the cemetery, where the rain continues to pour, lights beam from opposite sides of the background, meeting at a point culminating over a pile of wet dirt. The music plays a haunting tune. For the briefest of glimpses, the very top point of the mound starts to stir, and that's where we end our minute. So not a lot happens in this particular minute. We have it's more of just visually watching these actors reacting to it, and more it's at the beginning it's Don Calfa doing all the acting and all that sort of thing, because technically up until we actually see all three men, it's just Don Calfa in the frame with this the half corpse, the puppet itself.
Yeah. And the puppet action of the head was brilliant. The hair
exactly.
Yeah. You have the spine sort of swinging side to side a bit. It's brilliantly done. I love that puppet so much. Just like I said last time, it was just so cool.
We also see from at the point in this particular minute when it comes to the shot where they show the whole entire room, where Bert is in the foreground and Spider and Ernie are on the other side, we can actually see underneath the table. So this is the first glimpse we have underneath the table, and we can see Ernie's moves leg and all that sort of thing, which means the section beyond that is where both where William Stout and Tony Richard are like basically crouched underneath and all that sort of thing, operating the creature from like whatever they are, however they are doing it and all that sort of thing.
It's so well done. It's just
it's definitely it's definitely. One other thing I want to add to this particular minute is if you listen carefully, you don't hear Frank and Freddy, who are currently still suffering and all that sort of thing. Previous minute when we saw them, they're all in pain and all that sort of thing, and Tina's crying and all that sort of thing. But in this particular minute, and like a little bit prior to it, we don't see them at all in this room. The only reason for that to be is because of the way they re-edit the movie from the script. So just to put it out there again, in the script form of this movie, at this point in the story, Frank and Freddy are already locked up in the cathedral. So it's kind of interesting to see how in the edit, it's only in the upcoming few minutes where they then transport Frank and Freddy to the chapel. But the script is written out that, hey, this is what we do. We then put them away, and then we deal with the corpses coming through the wall, and that's when we lose Scuzz, and they drag out the half corpse. So all that happens without the knowledge of Frank, Freddy, and Tina, because again, the original script, they're no longer in the scene. But in the movie, they are currently in this room, at least the embalming room. We just don't hear them because also we don't see them as well. So,
and when as they're stepping out, you get the name right. I think it's Ernie has the gun holster completely on the wrong side of his hip. Typically it would be considered the wrong side.
Ernie cross draws. The first time he pulled it, he reached across. I can't remember which hand he used, but he reaches across his body to.
He would. So
that's
to,
why it's
so,
exactly
It's like on his butt. It's kind of a weird spot because I don't remember it being there when he.
No, it does. It does move around depending on the sequence and all that sort of thing. But usually when he has to go to draw with it, it's exactly where he needs to be. But it is a cross. He doesn't do a holster hip. He does a cross body, which would make more sense that you would draw from across your body instead of, because you're not a friggin' cowboy in the Wild West. You're not gonna. Hey. You're not a gunslinger. That's the word I was looking for.
That's right. Yeah. These are the little details you forget when you're watching it and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, you're watching a casual 90-minute movie. All that sort of thing runs by. But when you're watching it minute by minute, you realize, hey, wait a sec. I can't count the amount of times where I've watched a sequence over and over again, and like, wait a second, then I have to bring up my file for like 3-4 minutes ago, and like, that was in a different position than that,
Yeah,
which is obviously something you would never see. But now when I watch the movie in full now, I see everything and all that sort of thing, which is ridiculous to to have that perspective of the movie. But yeah.
I know I'm the one who would watch movies in like I used to be able to control the speed of playbacks on my old players and stuff, so I could play it back at 1/64th speed, which is basically a frame by frame, which
It would
takes
be, yeah.
hours, but I used to do it.
Yeah. No, I would do the exact same thing. Maybe not
And I
with
remember
the
my wife laughing as I rewound because something was weird. And you're like, you're watching it frame by frame and you're rewinding, like
I have been told off. I've been scorned. I've been yelled at every single time. I'm like, oh wait, was that? And I'm like, no, we're not stopping the movie and rewinding it. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've had that conversation. Like, wait, wasn't that? And then it's like, no, we're keep going.
yeah.
So yeah. All right. So over on the commentary track, which again is with the writer and director Dan O'Bannon and the production designer William Stout. So William Stout is finishing up his talking about the study of endorphins. Dan O'Bannon then adds how the amount of pain references throughout the script were from him being Mighty Six before the making of this particular movie, and how prior he had plenty experience with pain in hospitals, and then how he then made use of it here. William Stout points out how the section of the table that Clu Gallagher goes around is the area where we're operating her, where the we is himself, and the special effects guy who is responsible for creating the half corpse is Tony Gardner. When Ernie, Spider, and Bert are having their discussion in the hallway, Dan O'Bannon mentions how he had the camera in close for intense dramatic effect. So that's about it that they have to say about the commentary track and all that sort of thing.
It did add to the fact that they were in a hallway, so it made you part of the group.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And again, technically, in the script version of the movie, they've just basically pulled themselves away from the half corpse. They're just having a conversation without the half corpse listening to them. Yeah. In the movie version, they've actually removed themselves yet again from the embalming room where Frank, Freddie, and Tina are still huddled in that little corner while Frank and Freddie are still suffering and all that sort of thing.
On the couch, yeah.
On the couch, yes, exactly. Well, actually, technically, no one is currently sitting on the couch because Frank is currently sitting up in one of the chairs, and Freddie is sprawled out on the floor, leaning up against Tina, who's holding him. So technically, no one but Freddie's jacket. I think Freddie's jacket is the only thing sitting on the sofa right now.
Oh, geez.
According to the script, which again is a story and screenplay by Dan O'Bannon, we're dealing with a revision from October 1983. This is based on a story and screenplay by John Russo, Rudy Rickey, and Russell Steiner. Interior, embalming room, night, rain. Corpse. It makes the pain go away. Another pause. Meat interrupts the discussion. Meat. Hey, come out here in the hall for a minute. I want to talk to you guys. Bert and Ernie follow him out of the room, leaving the placid corpse bound to the table. Interior, hallway, night, rain. Ernie, Bert, and Meat cluster together, panting, sweating, and totally freaked out. Meat. How do you kill those things? Ernie. You don't. Meat, turning pale. What do you mean? Ernie jerks his head at Bert. Ernie. Ask him. All eyes turn to Bert. Bert. They're already dead. You can't kill them again. You've got to understand that they're not alive. They're animated. You can chop them up into pieces, and the pieces will keep coming after you. Meat. Ah, fuck. Jesus shit. Bert. The only thing you can do is burn them. You have to totally reduce them to ash, to where there's nothing left to come after you. Ernie. How are you going to burn all those things? Meat. There's 100 of those fuckers. Bert, that is the question. Cut to exterior, cemetery, night, hard rain. The rain has turned the graveyard into a sea of mud. As we watch, something begins to rise out of the black slime. And just one more time to point out that anytime in the script version I say the name Meat, we are actually referring to Spider, and if I ever bring up the name of Dee Dee, we are actually talking about trash. So we now do the work print comparison, which is where you film your whole entire movie, get it all assembled together with all the pieces and all that, where you then take it and then you edit it down to your final feature, where we have a comparison of. So we are currently dealing with, for the actual movie, we're dealing with minute 64 to 65. In comparison, the work print is currently running at 7540 to 7642. So we get a little bit extra and all that sort of thing, but not very much. So the Dutch tilt close-up on the half corpse lingers for a little bit longer before changing the shot. Also, the exiting of the room is drawn out for an extra beat as well. So we actually see them go through the door, which, again, as I point out, that door only swings one direction, but in different shots, it swings in both directions. It's in this particular minute, the hinges are on it, so it allows to open
swing both ways.
Yeah, it allows it to swing into the hallway so they can exit the hallway that way. But in an earlier shot, when they came into the embalming room, the door opens up into the actual embalming room. So again, the hinges, the way it's set up now, is only meant to go one direction, which means it does swing both ways, but it's not hung the way to, it's not, yeah, I guess it's not hung the way to be able to do that because the hinges are not double-ended hinges. All right, so not much to say about this particular minute. We are at a little bit of a lull and all that sort of thing. We're about to kick it up, as we saw at the very end of this particular minute. We have a surprise guest coming back that sadly no one else gets to interact with for the rest of the movie, but they do come back, so hopefully we'll get some more information about that particular happenings in the next minute. Do you have anything else you want to add about this particular minute, Dan, or anything about the movie in general?
No, I have nothing really to add. I would just like to point out that now's a nice time to watch it again, so you can all be up to date and fresh to see what we're seeing, because if you've been listening in, it's worth watching to really get it fresh in your mind, because it is a good movie.
Yeah.
And they seem to be touring around to getting autographs now. So
they are the actual cast members are currently there are several events throughout the year where the whole entire cast has been traveling around,
because it's that time of year.
It is that time. Well, it is that time of year, but also because of the 40th anniversary, it's always been a good thing for
yes, that time of year.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Apparently, in a future upcoming minute, John Fillman, who plays Chuck in the movie, had mentioned how there's like about 5 or 6 more conventions that the group are going to be all together with for the rest of the year and whatnot. So that's kind of exciting. If you're out on the road and you have a convention near with these guys, do yourself a favor. They're an entertaining group. They are such fun to see, and like the panels of them just reflecting and all that sort of thing. It's the same stories over and over again, but they look like they're having so much fun doing it, and it's just a way for us, the audience, to honor their work. Again, this is something I also told John in the episode, that we enjoy this movie so much that we're thrilled when you guys come out to and all that. Even if you just go to a convention, like 1 or 2 of them are there, do yourself a favor, go up and just tell them that you're a fan. Tell them that, because obviously, technically, if you're listening to this podcast, you're definitely a fan of the movie to begin with. You're not 65 minutes, you're not 65 episodes into this thing and not enjoying the movie to begin with. So, I mean, obviously, it's nice to see that people are coming along. And like I mentioned in every single episode, there's always like 1 or 2 we don't have huge numbers, but we have a following, which is always fun to see. So, yeah. So again, if they are at a convention, if 1, 2, the whole entire cast, do yourself a favor, pay whatever it is to get into that convention, and go just say hi and tell them how much the movie means to you. Because you know what? From what I have relayed myself to the few of the actors that have joined me for this podcast, they're really thrilled to be able to still talk about this time of their life that was, first of all, so early in each of their careers, and how much fun they had, and the fact that they can still come together and still be as close as they are. So it's just a fantastic, and it shows how well they chose this cast as well. It goes to show who was responsible for hiring these actors, because they knew that they were just going to gel so well together. And again, 40 years later, they're having a ball hanging out with each other for like a whole entire year. Obviously, not a whole entire year, but like, again, I think there's been about 4 or 5 so far this year. There's about, like I said, 5 or 6 still to go. So if they're near you guys, do yourself a favor, go see them and tell them what it means to you, because they love hearing it. So that's my little PSA for the day. Okay, so again, thank you, Dan, for joining for this particular episode. Thank you, audience, for coming along on this train ride. I'm having a ball doing this. I got some future stuff coming up that's kind of exciting. Like I already mentioned, we got John Fillman in a future episode, Mr. Chuck himself. There is something to timestamp this. There is something coming up the second weekend of September that might culminate into something. It'll definitely culminate in something Return to the Living Dead, whether or not it's going to be as spectacular as I hope. But if not, I'm still going to be doing some content. So there'll be some extra stuff on the feed, on the YouTube at the very least, because it's going to be mostly visual and all that sort of thing. And you can wait for that. Hopefully I'll have some time to edit that over the weekend that after I record it. But again, you're going to see myself. I'm pretty sure we got my buddy here, Dan, that's going to join me on this adventure that we're going to do. And again, hopefully something fun comes out of it. But if not, something entertaining should come out of it and all that sort of thing. Right, Dan?
For certain.
Yes, exactly. All right. So that being said, thank you, Dan. Thank you, audience. I got nothing else to say except see you next Wednesday.
You've just been listening to a Planet Geek production of Do You Want a Party? A Movies by Minute podcast of the 1985 The Return of the Living Dead. Please be sure to subscribe, download, comment, share, rate, and review. Be sure to follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, or Letterboxd. Search for Planet Geek Productions. X, former Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky, search for planetgeekpod. Or send us an email to planetgeekpod@gmail.com. Our closing music is provided by Night Chill. See the show notes for more details. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and farewell, fiends.
So over on the workplace comparison, which is what you have is you take the... I wrote the word place. It's supposed to be print. Work print comparison. Workplace comparison. Wow, that's weird. And I did write workplace. All right.